Hi, in this video I'm going to be discussing 4K and do you really need a 4K camera? Let's find out. So over and over I get asked the same question. What's the best 4K camera on a budget? Which is kind of like an odd question. That's like asking, what's the best Ferrari but I've only got $1,000? And also, I need it because I need to go to the shops. When I then ask, oh well, there's lots of 4K cameras. What sort of filming are you doing? Why do you need 4K? I get, because 4K. And this is the thing. 4K is nice to have, but surely there are higher priorities in your camera than 4K. And it's quite a big problem because manufacturers pushed 4K as the next technology to have. And that's true. I have every camera that I use is a 4K camera. I have a huge 4K television. I buy all my films in 4K or UHD, HDR, Blu-ray, highest quality I can get my hands on. And that's great. It looks fantastic. But, and this is a big but, there are far more important things than 4K. But here's the thing, even with a massive television, 4K is not that obvious. And there are things like bitrate and HDR and high quality colors and better blacks and better whites, which have nothing to do with 4K, yet have a far bigger impact on the image quality than the resolution, which I'll be honest, even on a TV at the size I have, I can barely see even when I'm up close. When you're considering a camera, things like optics, the type of lens available, the weight, the battery length, the functions, like has it got high-speed shooting, what's the low light capability. There are so many more things to consider than 4K. And yet, for so many creators, must having 4K seems top of their list. It's bonkers. In fact, let me issue a challenge to you. Log into your YouTube page, assuming you're on YouTube, go into your analytics data, click on devices. Now tell yourself how many people are watching your content on a 4K capable device. Have a look. Do it right now. I'll wait. Time is passing. If it's more than a few percent, I will be very surprised. And yet, you're falling over yourselves to have a 4K capable camera. For a tiny percentage of your audience who usually watch on phones, on tablets, on their laptops, unless they're using very premium gear, they are not 4K capable. And even if they were, why would it matter on a smartphone? So what to do then? How do we solve this? Well, the answer is simple. Before saying, I must have a 4K camera, ask yourself, what do you want your camera to do? What sort of shooting are you going to be recording with it? This lovely soft background you can see here, that's to do with the lens. The way that I'm sharply in focus here and the way the background is blown out slightly, that's because I'm using a ring light. The fact that you can hear me so clearly is because I'm using a shotgun microphone on my desk right there. I keep the microphone close to me. The reason it sounds so crisp is because I'm running it on a separate field recorder. None of that has anything to do with 4K. The reason you can see the detail in my face, and this is a big secret, is not because I'm recording in 4K, it's because I'm recording at a high bitrate, which means that even though you're probably watching this on a less than 1080p device, I still look clear because the bitrate is high and there's far less compression being used. There is so much to consider before you think of 4K. Let me share a secret with you. This video that you are watching right now wasn't shot in 4K. Looks great, right? And YouTube says 4K when you look at it, but this was shot in 1080. I just upscaled to 4K at the rendering process. Yes, this camera that I'm using right now is capable of shooting in 4K. It's one of the best 4K cameras in the world, in fact. But I shoot everything apart from my hero videos in 1080. Now, if I'm using a lot of outdoor shots, a lot of really high quality scenery shots, then yes, 4K is great. And those big hero videos, they'll be done in 4K. But everything else, like a video blog, my face with a static background, there is no benefit whatsoever from me shooting this in 4K. That computer that you can see behind me, that's running 128 gigabytes of RAM. It's got 2 graphics cards. It runs 12 Xeon cores and it has 2 terabytes of NAND storage. It's arguably one of the most powerful computers money can buy for your desktop, and even that has difficulty editing 4K when you start layering some effects on. So if you're thinking of recording in 4K and then editing it on your phone or on a slow laptop, man, you're going to have a really hard time. 4K files are bigger, so they take longer to pass to my editors. They take longer to render. There is very little advantage in using 4K unless your audience is all about 4K and you're doing something like a 4K master for UHD Blu-ray discs. And let's be honest, you're a content creator. You're not doing that. You're doing this so people are going to watch on their phones. And so that's pretty much the end of this slightly ranty one. The chances are you do not need 4K. Even though every camera I have is capable of 4K, I do not record in 4K. And I would say I've got some pretty good looking videos and good sounding videos. None of that is in 4K, you know? And in fact, as I've said in other videos, some of the best videos I've done, certainly some of the most popular videos that have got me the most subscribers and most comments, they were shot on my phone. They weren't even in 1080. Ah, they might have been. But, you know, they were low bitrate, high compression, none of the fancy lighting that you see here. And yet these are some of the most popular videos I've ever recorded because the subject was more interesting. That's the important thing to think about here. The subject and the quality of the content you're putting out, not the resolution. It's pretty much meaningless. So that's it for this one. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Do you disagree? Are you like, no, it must be 4K. I can see the difference in my eyes. Or are you like, maybe you got a point and let's just do everything in, you know, what's required. Leave your comments below. I'd love to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike. All engagement is good. Popping up over there is the last video I put out, and right below that is the video YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the very next show. Bye.